Hello, it's 5D, back once more for another deep feed. Last week we had one about psytrance, and I thought this week I'd do one about trance. I don't think you really officially, I don't know, you wouldn't explain it like that maybe. Because of that, this one is episode 36 without the sigh. Now, yeah, this one is very much subjectively it's not classic trance as defined maybe by you or by a book or Wikipedia about, you know, specifically about musical genres. This is anything to me that sounds trancey is coming up in the next hour and a bit. Anything that sounds trancey, even if it's not really trance specifically, but it's just a bit trancey. And I thought that'd be nice, but of course not really any side particular, because we had a load of that last week. If you missed that and you want to hear it, check out last week's one. So yeah, it's not the morning, weirdly, because normally I always do my podcast when I wake up bright and early, insomnia style, at like 4 in the morning or whatever. But tonight, it's 8ish. And I'm probably not as chilled in the voice department as usual. But anyway, I'll introduce the first track. This is a classic. It's called Amphetamine. What a name. By Thomas P. Heckman. I mean, it even sounds like quite a hard name for an artist. As you can hear, it's just pumping. This is a classic. I remember hearing this on Carl Cox mix when I was at school. I used to listen to it all the time. It was my favourite track on the mix. And it's just awesome. Just that sort of rising, falling, you know, synth is just the best. I'll just have another sip of tea, shut up, and let it flow into your brain. Here we go. Amphetamine. Okay, here we go. Yes, Thomas P. Heckman with Amphetamine. Classic there, classic, absolutely classic. Next up, we've got a track by Etherwood, who are drum and bassy normally, and it's called Unfolding, and it's definitely not trance, but it's sounds a little bit trancey, especially compared to normal drum and bass. Unfolding into your brain with its soothing melodies, etc. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say about it. I remember hearing it and being like, this is different, and ending up on this playlist. Here we go, Unfolding by Etherwood. Yes. Chilled. Chilled. Such soft percussion as well, isn't it? Definitely soft. So now we have a track with the best piano sample. It almost sounds like the piano is a little broken, or just like a dodgy old honky tonk. Not honky tonk. It doesn't sound like honky tonk. Sounds like a slightly dodgy piano. It's a beautiful sound though. Track called Serenade, the radio edit by Tom DeMac, and this is a lovely track. It's got a sample of it in the middle. I'll let you hear it, but it's a guy who's sort of chatting about, like, it definitely sounds like one of those meditational gurus. It's a good sample. It goes with it. I don't know what he's talking about though. It's a bit weird. It sounds very trippy, which is not out of its place in trance trippiness, of course. Trance likes to be trippy, in fact. Why is that? Maybe because it entrances you, and trippiness is an entrancing thing. I don't know. Anyway, here we go. Serenade by Tom DeMac.
There is a music. The music comes in on the thick heat at dusk. You can hear it rising out of the grass. With the chorus of crickets calling to the approaching night. Plays over and over in the chest. Sometimes you turn onto your stomach to muffle the song. Sometimes you turn over and allow it to serenade you, to lullaby you. To start here, to lift this new glimpse you found, carry into evening what you want from the day. What can anyone give you greater than now? Let us start here, in this room, in this moment. Sit with me and hold tight.
That was Serenade, Tom DeMac there. So next up, we have a track called, what's it called? Hall. It's originally by Christian Loeffler. Loeffler? I don't know how you pronounce O with 2 dots over it. I don't know if you stretch it out or what kind of adjustment to the pronunciation you make, so I'm not going to try. But it's a Max Cooper remix, Max Cooper being an absolute don. Now this is one of my favourite tracks ever at the moment when it comes to just beautiful, melodic, sparse, chilled. I say sparse, I don't know, it's not entirely sparse. So it starts off that way. It's one of those ones that just takes me to another place, like just completely just zones me. It's just so good. It's just so good. I'm just going to shut up. Words will not explain this tune. And you might not feel about it the same way as me. But if you do, enjoy this. It's epic. Sorry, just drinking more tea as usual. Powered by tea. It's 5D. Not about to rap. Mainly because I'm not a freestyler. Definitely not. And we're on a trancey podcast. It's not even the place to discuss that sort of thing anyway. Next up, Bjork, The Dull Flame of Desire. And it's Mode Selector's remix for girls. Yeah, this is on some release which I haven't checked out. There's actually side by side with the remix for boys, which I've never listened to actually, ironically enough. This is beautiful. Bjork is a total legend. I don't know how much trancey sounding stuff she's on, but her voice is perfect for it, and her whole attitude, if we're honest. Bjork is just amazing. Gotta love her. Incredible woman, in more ways than one. This is The Dull Flame of Desire, and it's Mode Selector, who makes some weird tunes out of it, actually. They're not usually used to making stuff like this, but they make some weirdness. If you're interested in weird, I don't even know how to describe it, but it's pretty weird usually. Here we go. It's their remix for girls and boys alike. Here we go.
Their splendid sparkling fire.
When suddenly you raise them so to cast a swift embracing glance,
like lightning flashing in the sky. But there's a charm that is greater still.
when my love's eyes are lowered, when all is fired by passion's kiss,
And through the downcast
Yes, mode selector there. Trancing and technoing, housing, or whatever you want to call it, up Bjork with the dull flame of desire. Long delay outro. Outro, that's right. I finally said it correctly. Funny story, for years I thought it was an outro for some weird reason. And I told my friend Nat, and he was like, nah mate, I think that's an outro. You've been calling it an outro all these years. What the hell's wrong with you? Oh, you cracked up. To be fair, it was pretty funny. So now we have a track called Love, which is a thing that is a trancey thing, love. It should be in the area of trance, shouldn't it? Love is definitely a thing. Maybe where grime might not be love, you know, for example, trance is. That's just an example there, because I was just trying to think, you know, all music is quite lovey, and then I realised that was complete nonsense. Death metal, don't know. Not, I mean, you know, I'm not to say people who like grime and death metal can't love, just to say it's not what the music's necessarily about. Whereas trance is a bit like quite about that, because of course you get psycho, horrible people who like trance as well. But let's not talk about them. I bet they're out there. I don't really. Yeah, I'm sure I've even met some in my time. I know this is a track called Love, as I've already blathered on about for a minute, by Ben Lucas Boyson, and I'll just let it roll into your ears like tracks do. Lovely one, this. Another one to vibe to. Running. Yeah. Chilled. Okay, so the least trancey artist possibly on this whole list. And in fact, when I say his name, you're going to be like, what? And then you're probably going to be like, that track's not even that trancey, no. But I just really like it, and it is a bit, and sounds to me, is Lorn, L-O, oh, excuse me, hiccup, R-N. This track is Time Sync, coming in any minute now, and just, yeah, it's a bit trancey. Here we go. See, it is a bit. If I can sing it, well, that's not. No, again, I was going to talk nonsense. If I can sing it, it's trance. Bollock. What God, I make less sense in the evenings than I do in the morning at 4 in the morning. That's weird, isn't it? Anyway, I'll let one of Lorne's most trancey sounding tunes flow into your ears now. Here we go. Time Sync. Classic. It's a great track, actually. Here we go. Yeah, so what do you think? Answers on envelope. Is that trancey or not? Personally, I think it definitely is. But I can understand if you are like, nah, man, Lorne, it's not even, you can't call him even trance a little bit. I am just saying that one sounds a little like it. Next up, we have Orbital with Belfast. This track is amazing. It just always conjures up for me Human Traffic, the film, that sort of vibe, rave, classic, old school raving vibe. I don't know if, can't remember if it was in the film actually. I feel like it might have been. Maybe that's what conjures it up. But it also is just, this is just one of those you want to float over the, you know, London, like literally floating, like flying sort of thing, or over any city, anywhere really. And so just for me it's London, maybe because I did a lot of raves there. You know, just like, or down motorways really fast on the tube, but looking out the front, like tube tunnels and things like that. I don't know why, but yeah, that'll be Belfast. Orbital, classic artists to absolute legends. Orbital with Belfast. Here we go. Yes. It's got the slowing down slowly outro. Quite a cool way to end the track. Oh, what a classic. You gotta love that. Epic in its classicness. Not classicity. Definitely not a word. I'm literally blathering, so I'm gonna shut up. Again, because this is all about music, this podcast, mainly. Except when we've got people to banter about and it's about cosmology or about cats. It's about music, primarily, and we're on trance today, non-psychedelic trance. So this will be Sansula, Max Cooper's Lost in Sound mix, originally by Dominic Uhlberg, and it's just a nice track with a little. I imagine they sampled a Sansula. I think you can hear it in the background actually. Great little instrument. It's like a thumb, a piano type thing. My wife's even got one. It's quite nice to play. It's yeah, you just sort of, it's just shaped and it's got these like metal prongs that you just sort of tweak with your thumbs and back and forth. Yeah, some nice tunes to be had. And I'll let the Sansula soothe you and play into your ears. Now, here we go. Yes. Dominic Yulberg, Sansula. The Max Cooper's Lost in Sound remix. That was. Next up, Left Field. Another classic artist. This one's Release the Pressure coming in. Again, this is possibly one of the more classic on the whole podcast tracks. Yeah, I used to have this when I was at school. Again, it's one of those things. It's 20. What would that be? Crikey, almost 25 years ago now. That makes me feel old. Wow, whoa, hang on. What? I'm just realizing live on the air how old I am. Shit happens though. Time flies and it progresses. Stuff happens and we move from one moment to the next until we realize that a lot of moments have happened. And Release the Pressure was 25 years ago. We used to listen to it. And it's a great track. I'm going to shut up and let it play. Here we go.
I've got to stand and fight in this creation. Vanity, I know, can't guide I alone. I'm searching to find a love that lasts all time. I've just got to find and unity.
Yes, 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 yes. Release the pressure. So next up, we have a track. Oh, this is classic, classic, classic. This is possibly the most, I keep saying that, but this could be the most classic track on it. Game Master, Matt Derry, Lost Tribe, otherwise known as. I was chatting with my personal trainer, James. Shout outs to him. Thanks for keeping my fitness, I was going to say my tummy in check, but it stays the same fucking size. Thanks for keeping me a little bit fitter, less nardy than I would be. Was I doing nothing? But anyway, we were discussing this track because he's banging to trance. It's his favourite pretty much. And yeah, I played this and he was like, "Oh, mate, that's a classic." And we both agreed it's an amazing track. And this is older, I think, even, no, it's about the same sort of time as that Left Field track, I think. Game Master, oh, it's got a beautiful sample as well. Awesome stuff. Here we go. Let's just listen now. Here we go.
Embracing the goddess energy within yourselves will bring all of you to a new understanding and valuing of life, a vision that inspires you to live and love on planet Earth. Like a priceless jewel buried in dark layers of soil and stone, Earth radiates her brilliant beauty into the caverns of space and time. Perhaps you are aware of those who watch over your home and experience it as a place to visit and play with reality. You are becoming aware of yourself as a game master.
Yeah, amazing stuff. So we're getting close to the end of the podcast. Arpeggios, great thing for this sort of music. That's when you have, I don't actually know how you define it off the top of my head. I know what it is in my head, but I don't know how to define it. But this track coming up next, it's called Comfort Zone, and it's by an artist called Stranger Suma. This has got the most awesome arpeggio ever. She's just killed it. And I'll just let it play. Here we go. Quietly coming in now. Yes. Great track. So now we have penultimate track. It's originally by Sailor and I. It's called Turn Around, and it's the Arme remix. Arme? Amy? Arme? I don't know. AME. They make some amazing tracks. They make all sorts. Usually not the most trancey stuff ever. It's more like usually minimal sort of stuff. But this one's feels trancey to me. So it reaches this playlist. Here we go. Sorry, I just had to do a bit there. Oh, yeah, you're gonna see, I'm not mad. That's what's coming up.
We hold on for a while. This is all we've got right now. Pretend we're doing fine. Pretend we're doing fine. You could turn around. Turn around. You could turn around. Turn around. Or you could throw your love around. Or you could turn around. could throw your love around, or you could turn around. Or you could throw your love around.
Nice. So this leaves me now to say, here we go. I'll see you next week, or you'll hear me next week. I'm not 100% sure what are we going to do next week, or exactly. So I'm not going to announce now. So I'm not going to tease the next week. We're just going to see what happens. So this coming up, the final track will be Pearl's Girl by Underworld. Again, not classically trancey, so actually sort of Underworld a bit. Depends how you define it, but this is a great one. Definitely sounds it to me, and great one to play us out on. I hope you enjoyed my selection of non-psychedelic trance this evening. For me, don't know what time it is for you. Anytime it could be. Yeah, here we go, and yeah, tune in another time. Deep Feed in a bit.
crazy, crazy, crazy.